Hey guys, welcome back. So today is day 5 of the Daily Arithmetic Challenge. Try your best, good luck. So as always, here are your first 6 questions. Once you've done these, go on to the next slide and have a go at the rest. There are 10 altogether, and then once you've done, you can unpause and we will go through the answers all together. Okay, so time to go through the answers and see how well you did. These then. So the first question, 27 divided by 3, well I can actually see if I divided that number by 10 to give me 27, I know using my multiples of 3 that 3 goes into 27 9 times, so if that's the case it must go into 270 90 times, as 270 is 10 times bigger. The same goes for question number 12. I've got 5,400 divided by 9. Now if I divided that number by 100 and I gave myself 54, I know 9s into 54 go 6 times, and if they go in 6 times into 54 they must go in 600 times into 5,400 because it's 100 times bigger. Number 13, again I wouldn't have used a method for this one, just write out your multiples of 15 as I've done down below, and you can see that it goes into 64 times. Now number 14, this is one that catches out my class quite a lot. It is still a subtraction question. It has just put the equal sign on the other side of the operation. So it's still 5,776 subtract 855, as you can see down below. So number 15, it's all about looking for the digit in that number that has not been written out. So the first digit that I can get to now that is not included in my partition addition is the 5. Now I need to know the place value of that 5, so as you can see down below I've written out the place values, and I can see that the 5 is in the 10,000s column. So underneath I have written 50,000. And number 16, another decimals one that tends to catch quite a few people out. You must remember that place value is so important. You've got to put your 5 underneath your 0. That means that your units are in the same column for their place value. I've also put a decimal and a 0 as a placeholder just to make the rest of it a bit more clearer. So I've got 5/7 add 3 over 21. Now this one is a little bit trickier because I've got 2 different denominators and I can't do an addition with 2 different denominators. So what I've done is I've seen if it was possible to turn 7 into 21, which it is by multiplying it by 3. So whatever I do to the denominator I must do to the numerator. So I've then multiplied 5 by 3 to give me 15. So now I've got both of my fractions over the same denominator of 21, and I will just add my numerators together. So 15 add 3 is 18, and then 21 stays the same. Number 18, I've got 0.1 divided by 100. Now that means if it's a division, your number is going to become 100 times smaller, and your numbers will move down 2 place value slots. So as you can see with my arrows, the 2 numbers that I was aware of have moved backwards 2 places, the decimal has stayed in the same place, and then I would have been left with 2 gaps with no digit in, so that's where I put my zeros in as placeholders. Number 19, 3/4 of 1,000. Now most of you would probably be able to just do this one off the top of your head because it is just a fact that you should know, but if you weren't too sure, find half of that number, which is 500, find a quarter of that number, which is 250, and then add the 2 numbers together. And finally, your multiplication by a 2-digit number. Now this is the question in your arithmetic paper where you will be offered 2 marks, that and a division of 2-digit numbers. Now the way I always recommend to my class to do this is to circle the 2, so the number in the tens column, just to remind you that you're dealing with a 10 and that you will have to pop a 0 in. So first of all I multiplied all of the digits in 785 by 3, so as you can see that number down below. I then multiplied the same numbers by 2, but remembering to start by putting in my 0 because I'm actually multiplying by 20, not by 2. And then to find the total answer I added together my 2 numbers to give me 18,055.